so we gotta talk about the Oscars because that just kind of.
I'm tired of it.
I am.
I'm very much
but
over
we have
it,
to,
but
we
I
have
think
to
we need to talk about it. I'm very much over it. Like I was almost immediately over it. So
did y'all know that Samuel L. Jackson won his first Oscar yesterday?
Yeah. He got an honorary Oscar.
But did anybody else talk about it? Because it's a big deal to him.
Well, they did that before the actual show.
No. What I'm saying is that we've missed everything else. Like there's nothing else to be talked about but that.
Right. That's the thing.
That's what pissed me off.
Who watches the Oscars for the awards now? We watch it for fashions, and then we got something else. So okay, let's go. All right, thank you guys for joining us for episode 77 of Black Coffee and Crime. This week is special. This is Oscar week, and then you know why I'm mentioning that it's Oscar week. We didn't plan to talk about the Oscars because the Oscars are usually normally like who wore what, who cares who won an award. But last night. We got that.
The world.
I don't even know what the fashions were. Like, I didn't even get to see the fashions. I was on Twitter and it was, what did you see? Also, we're going to talk about a case that happened in Christmas 2020 of Kalecia Pinky Williams, a 16-year-old student in Atlanta who was murdered in a hotel room, which is very similar to what happened to Kenneka Jenkins in 2017. So we'll talk about that as well. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for all new subscribers to YouTube. And, those of you on Facebook and of course, also on Instagram. So thank you guys so much to all new subscribers. If it's been a while or if you've never been here, we just talk about crime. We talk about stuff that's on Al Gore's internet. We talk about whatever we want to talk about. If we misspeak, miss some facts, let us know. Be respectful. We get this off of the interwebs. So if they're wrong, we might be wrong. We give our opinion. If our opinion differs from yours, that's okay. All of this is unscripted. We always know what we're going to talk about. We just don't know what we're going to say. So there's that. All right. Any church announcements? Anybody got anything for the announcements? Any prayer requests, shout outs, celebrations, anything?
Jenny said shout out. She just wants to say hey to everybody.
Hey, Jenny. And we didn't wish Jenny, our resident fact checker, we didn't get to wish her happy birthday a couple weeks ago. So happy birthday, Jenny. I still need prayer because y'all went back to work a couple weeks ago in the office and I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. The view is nice. The view is beautiful. I'm in one of the most beautiful buildings in downtown Dallas. And my view is great from my office. And then if I go to the other side, to the break room, I can see the other part of Dallas, the skyline. But I'm not doing well. I'm not, because I gotta pay for parking. I gotta get up at the ass crack of dawn and leave. And it's just, I'm thankful that I have a job. But the fact that they gave me a laptop, they should just let me work from home. If I have to take it to work and bring it home every day, why can't I just stay here?
Yeah.
So just pray for me, y'all. Pray for me, y'all. All right. So we ain't got no church announcements. We ain't got, if you was on a couple years ago when we first started, if you was on the prison ministries list to receive letters, care packages, we ain't coming. We're very sorry. We hope you out by now. If you was on the list then, we hope you have been rehabbed, got your counseling, and you back out on the streets, so we wish you well, but we ain't coming.
So we still dismissed the prison.
I thought we gonna start back up, but
I thought, we're gonna start back up, or is it still dismissed?
No, we ain't gonna start.
Okay.
It's too many crazy folks going in jail right now. We mentioned Brandy. We mentioned that Valo, the crazy lady who killed her husband killed her kid. She ain't went to trial yet, so she, we can't. she's still sitting in there. It's just unsure.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna go to no service anyway.
Yeah, I think she's gonna go to the
we don't align with her doctrine, her whatever she does, heebie-sheebie doctrine.
Yeah, she don't want none of our prayers. All right. I forgot what I was saying. About Mary. Is her name Mary Vallow?
Yeah, we was talking about our doctrines don't line up.
Yeah, she's like some sort of offshoot of fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, and like if you're an offshoot, like the crazy cousin of the FLDS,
warlocks, and she thought her daughter was some kind of weird something.
Yeah. So if you're an offshoot of, if you're the crazy cousin of the FDLS or FDLS or whatever, then that's we ain't going.
It might be an offshoot of Satanism.
Yeah, we ain't going. So we just gonna wish y'all well on the outside. All right. All right. So the Oscars. I did not watch them because I don't watch award shows anymore. Like I've lost my fervor for watching award shows. So I just stopped Twitter because, especially with the Oscars, I just want to know who won in whichever category. So I was Twitter stalking last night, and down my feed, I see, oh my God, did you guys just see that? Did you see this? Did you see that? Oh my God, what just happened? And I was like, what the hell? One of my cousins texts me and says, are you watching the Oscars? And I'm like, no. She's like, Will Smith just socked Chris Rock. What? So I looked for it and I found it. And I was immediately over it. Like within 5 minutes of being notified, I was immediately like over it. I'm like, those rich people problems. Like I don't know what the conflict was. I didn't know what it was in the beginning, but I was like, those are rich people problems. Let me get back to reading my book. And then also, I think I expected, quite naturally so, the media blitz on social media, and I was like, no, knowing that social media was going to be dominated by Will Smith, and then also Jada, bringing up Jada's past comments or past conflicts, which this didn't have. Will Smith hitting him had something to do with what Chris Rock said about Jada, but she didn't. What happened on the stage didn't have anything to do directly with her, but now the conversation has turned back to her. So I knew I was going to be over it. Brandy called me this morning to see what my take on it was. Jackie, so let's just put it out there. What is your take on what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like because I've seen like people saying, they've lost respect for Will Smith and and he wouldn't have did that to me. And
I'm not there. I'm definitely not thinking I don't ever want to see Will Smith again. I'm not thinking any of that. I think that everyone makes mistakes. This is the easiest way I can simplify it because this is the way I took it. Everyone can make mistakes. He made a mistake by going on stage. Chris Rock made a mistake by thinking that joke was funny. And that's my take on it. It was a mistake on both ends. And I don't even care who fought. I don't care about none of it. It was a mistake because now what it did for the Oscars was say, see, this is why we don't let these things, this is why we don't do this for them because they're this. That's just how I feel about it. So I'm like, now they should look for a reason. Now they're going to say Will can't come. Say Chris can't come. So, I was like, it's just going to give them a reason. So on both ends, I think both ends are wrong. That's just how I feel about it.
Brandy?
I agree with Jackie. I think it was out of line, and he shouldn't have ran up there and did that. But he knows he shouldn't have done that, and he's apologized for it, and said what he did was bad. But I think he could have handled it another way. Everybody thinks he could have handled it in another way, and I guess for whatever reason he didn't handle it that way. But it's just there's going to be more trauma involved because now it's everywhere. And when is it going to die down? We don't know. If he had handled it different, it would have been one and done. and we wouldn't be talking about it right now. We were talking about he won the Oscar, and boy produced the Oscars, and Questlove winning his award, and whoever else won. So, but I guess that's the consequence of doing what you thought you needed to do at the time, is that now, I mean, we're gonna stop talking about it, and then when the Oscars come up next year, we're gonna remember what happened at the last Oscars, and it's just, it was wrong.
Yeah, and now they're saying that the Academy is going to do like a formal investigation on what happened. I don't know if they're talking about taking the award away. Well, like to see what they should do. Like, should they rescind the award?
Really?
For his misconduct. They can do that for his misconduct. And if that does happen, then that is an unfortunate consequence.
I mean, it's a consequence though,
right. It is an unfortunate consequence. However, like Jackie, like you said, I'm not going to stop watching Will Smith. I didn't lose respect for Will Smith. I don't know that man to respect him. He's an actor. I don't know him personally to have the respect for him. I don't know how he really acts in real life, because you only see him on camera. So only his intimates will know who the real man is. As far as Chris Rock saying what he said, there's a couple of problems I have with it. As a comedian, comedians push the envelope all the time. And people are saying, well, he's a comedian, that's his job. They always roast people at Oscars. I get that, but you because you always do it doesn't mean I'm going to receive it well every time. It's going to be received well every time. This time, unfortunately, Will was a little bit too close to that stage for Chris to have said that about Jada's disability, her disease. There was an inappropriate joke. Most roasts, those kind of jokes are inappropriate, but it wasn't well taken. And the other part of it is, to me, it becomes cultural and a little racial, because that's a Black woman. That hair is very important to us. And
she knows, he should have. I mean, he made a whole movie.
He made the movie. Good hair taught, and he said that he wished that his daughters would be known more for what they have in their head than on their head. So for him to make that joke then about Jada in front of the world, is how Black people say you don't talk about family outside of the house. So I don't think that you shouldn't have pointed her out.
He knew about her having alopecia.
That was literally what I'm saying. I didn't even know she had alopecia.
He had made the joke, and a lot of people say, how they talk, some people don't know, but some people go on with their life and just don't know.
But my thing is, this is the Oscars. This is not us talking right here as normal people that we didn't know. You have checkers, fact checkers, writers, checkers. They knew. Trust me, they knew that she had it. Otherwise, why would you make the joke?
And that don't mean that they wrote the joke. It might have been off the cuff.
Yeah.
But that means that he knew.
That doesn't necessarily mean that he knew. He didn't know that she cut her hair because of alopecia. Could be she just wanted to cut her hair. I know the first time I shaved my head off, it's because I wanted it. Of course, I had to shave it off other times too.
I can't believe that the Academy of Arts and Sciences and the people in charge of the Academy of Arts and Sciences don't know that one of their A-list actors' wives. These people know everything. They know what type of toilet paper you use, how many squares of it you use, and if you wipe front to back or back to front.
You think so, Brandon?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I didn't know.
You don't know that.
I don't know. What if it was just a joke off the dome, though?
No, I'm saying.
I think
what I'm saying.
Off the cuff.
What I'm saying is that the Hollywood machine knows everything. And I knew that Jada had alopecia because she said it a month ago or so, that she was shaving her head. I knew.
I didn't know.
I know people who did not know.
I did not know.
I understand. And I said regular people like us, but Hollywood is not regular people.
There's been many celebrities to say they did not know. And if it was an off the cuff joke and he didn't know that she had alopecia, I mean, then
it was unfortunate.
So
then it was unfortunate.
I mean, it's definitely unfortunate, but I mean, the joke was still wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he apologized, but I mean, the joke was definitely wrong.
I think that,
but I mean, Will don't make him go. You can't go up there doing that.
I'm just not giving Hollywood and the writers in the Academy that much benefit of the doubt that they didn't know. Because again, you're talking about there's some celebrities that didn't know. Okay, but the machine that runs Hollywood and the movie industry, how do you not know?
And then again, that might not have been a joke written for him. That might not have been on the paperwork. That might have been, he was just going down the line of people that were in the front.
I'm not giving him that much.
But either way, Will was wrong for what he did. He was wrong for going up there during the show and slapping Chris. And he knows that he was wrong. And he's apologized. So
yeah,
everybody's going to say he could have handled it different, and for whatever reason, he chose not to handle it differently, and he's just going to have to deal with the consequences of his decision.
Absolutely. As a man, I think that at the time of him moving up there, he was thinking of, this is my wife, like enough is enough. And a lot of people say where he was laughing. Well, was that a funny ha-ha laugh or he hell laugh? Had he gone backstage and waited and let it stew and then went backstage and they had a conflict or whatever, then that's to me, that's punkish, because you sat there and you waited to I just think that he was running off of emotion. It happened. Nothing you could do about it right now. What were you saying, Brent?
I was going to say. And I'm saying that, he's clearly embarrassed. He said he was very embarrassed, and he knows there's other ways to deal with it, and for whatever reason he chose to do that at that time. But I also think it wasn't just that joke. I think he was walking up there and slapping him for reasons that we don't know.
I think you're right about that. I think that Chris Rock took the punishment and the brunt of a lot of shit that Will has not addressed in the media going on about Jada. And it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And Chris Rock, unfortunately, is the one who had to take that punishment for everything. And it's always the last person who takes the punishment. Everyone else been doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this and doing this. And this person just says a joke. He's at the Oscars. He's a comedian. He's doing his job. And this happens. So I think that, yes, Chris Rock took the punishment for everything that Will had not addressed, even with the whole affair, but that really wasn't an affair. Him not defending Jada at that time and telling people at that time, keep my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth. That should have come a long time, but that should have come 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? That should have come 2 years ago, not because their sex life had been exposed, because they had talked about that before, but because of the way that people were addressing the issue and talking about her. People who, and it's crazy because I heard personally from people men who have extramarital affairs. And then the women who have experienced their men having extramarital affairs she slutted herself out. She's wrong. How? If you and your husband have an agreement on how you guys are going to navigate through your relationship, how was she wrong for being able to explore that?
I think they didn't, the terms of the agreement must not have been 100%, or some change, an emotion changed, a feeling changed, something changed in their agreement.
Well, I don't know.
They have been, because they're known for having this agreement for a long time. This is their agreement. They are. So what changed at this agreement that made it a problem? You know what I'm saying?
What made it a problem is that August Alsina opened his mouth. That's what made it a problem.
Right, but they didn't have to
his feeling. But his feelings
they don't
changed.
have to. They don't have to address
They
it.
didn't have to. They didn't have to. But I think what Jada was trying to do was get on top of the story.
But what Will did was he came on the red table and he acted like he didn't know. He acted like he was completely shocked.
Exactly.
And he didn't understand what was going on. Exactly. He didn't know nothing about this agreement. He messed it up.
Exactly. So again, he did not defend his wife at that time. He did not do his job as
That's
a
what
husband.
I'm trying to say. Like, he, at the time, it wasn't her. It was actually him, because he made her look like that.
In his book, he talks about his dad, how, you know, that when he was a child, his dad was beating his mother. And as a child, he wished that he could stand up for his mom against his father, who did not have self-control and who used his you know, intimidation and violence as, you know, his response to everything. So it could have been, you know, he's trying to protect Jada in a way that he couldn't protect his mother, but in the same vein, he's doing the same thing his father did that he didn't like. And sometimes we become what we don't like.
I don't think he's becoming that. I think it was a moment.
I don't think he's becoming his dad, but I think how he handled that, I'm pretty sure that he's never wanted to handle a situation like his father may have handled a situation.
But I don't, and also I don't think you understand how you're going to react until you're presented with the problem, until the moment comes to you. I think he acted purely in the moment and off of emotion, and that was embarrassing as hell, because I'm quite sure he thought that he had his shit together more than that.
Yeah, it was definitely because of built up stuff.
Right. It was more than the moment. So Chris Rock took the brunt of the everything. And, you know, but as far as the people coming back and talking about Jada, listen, that woman is a grown ass woman. And one thing I hate is for especially grown men, to talk out of a woman's pants. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Hey,
as a grown woman,
if he decided to stay with her after that, I mean, just
let it go, because your wife decided to stay with your punk ass. But we don't want to talk about that, because our perception of what a woman is supposed to be able to do and what a man is supposed to be able to do are two different things. But what we forget is that these are two human adults, and we might be different physically, but we still have the same desires and needs. None of us is naturally monogamous. Nobody is naturally monogamous. Society tells us that we should be monogamous and with one partner. But as far as humankind goes, we're not monogamous creatures. We bond for a life partner. Right. Mm-hmm. We bond for a life partner and for children, but for companionship and physical, you know, desires or whatever, naturally, we seek that in other people. We'll seek it with our life partner, but you also want to seek it with other people. Society tells us that we should be monogamous and women should be more monogamous than men. So when you break that, men feel offended by women who break that tradition. Not your wife, because that's not your wife. If that's not the agreement that you have with your wife, that both of you guys can explore other people sexually, but you always, it's us. If you don't want that, then that's fine. But it's funny because you don't want that. You don't want your wife to do that, but you feel that it's perfectly okay for you to seek it outside because I just need something different. Do you think that if you need something different, do you think that you're actually satisfying her? Or, brother, please, she just loves your ass. That's all. That's all that is. She just loves you. But if you don't take the time to satisfy her, but you need to seek it from somebody else, then what is she thinking? So mature people go into mature ass relationships like that. If you weren't mature enough to handle what comes with that, fine. But unfortunately, Jada might have picked someone who wasn't able to take it. Like, I like her. I like her family. You know, everyone's cool. I want to go into this. I'm quite sure there was a discussion like, I'm not leaving my husband. That's never going to happen. But somebody got feelings. And then I don't think that was a slip when he said that. That was kind of like a Freudian slip. Like, oops, I said it. It's out there. But I don't think he understood that August Alsina understood what he was putting her in. Because no one faults August Alsina.
No.
Well, he got his heart broken. He was talking out of his pain.
Yeah, but you caught feelings when you shouldn't have, because I told you. So I'm saying
that's natural though. You can't really control that.
You can't control that, but you can't control your mouth. You can't control your mouth. You can. You can just shut up. You can just shut up. Because if we excuse August Alsina for talking out of school because he couldn't control his emotions, and we really can't castigate Will Smith for not controlling his emotions on the damn stage. It's the same thing. Both of y'all should have set your asses down somewhere. So, yeah. I mean, I don't condone Will's violence, but I understand it. I understand it. All right. We're going to leave them alone. So we are all over it.
Rich folks' problems.
Rich people problems. Those are rich people problems. I was over it within 5 minutes after being...
It has nothing to do with you. Stay away.
Right. This is rich people problem. All right. Okay. So, Jackie, you brought up, the one we're going to talk about is Kalecia Pinky Williams. And she was murdered December 26th in 2020 in Atlanta. This reminded me immediately. I think I put it on the list a long time ago. Because it reminded me of Kenneka Jenkins. We just never.
How did I not know this? And you know how obsessed I am with that story.
Right. I put it on the list because her name has been on the list for a long time. And it was because she reminded me of Kenneka Jenkins. But we just never brought it back up because there's not a lot of information on this case at all. Everything is talks about the night that she was murdered and the charges that the suspect was arrested under. But I looked up trial. There hasn't been a trial. The boy's name has still not been revealed, and I'm quite sure he's 18 by now. Okay, so this is what happened. Christmas night in 2020, Kalecia Williams, she's supposed to be going to a Christmas party at an Airbnb, and this is supposed to be chaperoned. She's a good kid or whatever. Her parents are like, yeah, you can go. Because the mother understood, her mom, April Smith, understood that this would be chaperoned at the Airbnb. Well, a parent or a close female relative of the suspect, the shooter, actually changed the plans and rented a hotel room at the Atlanta Hyatt Regency on Peachtree. And they never revealed who rented the room, but it was a female relative of the guy who murdered her. So Kalecia Pinky is on TikTok, twerking on TikTok in this video at 12:02. She notices someone come in the room. She turns around. The video goes off. By 12:23, she's dead. That's the story.
That's it.
That's the story. So between 12:02 and 12:23, who was the person that was in the room with her? Because it was only the boy and Kalecia. That's it. There was reports of shots. But here's the thing. 3 people took her out of that room and took her to the hotel lobby after the police were called.
Yep.
The police get there, the ambulance get there. They said that they took her out of the room because there was blood, but according to the videos of inside the lobby, there wasn't that much blood. So it looks like when he shot her, he shot her in the groin, and it looks like he shot her through the groin, like in her the cavity of inside her body, because there wasn't a lot of blood. But they took her to the lobby. My question is, there's a lot of questions with this. The same way with Kenneka Jenkins. Who was it that took her to the lobby? Where did they go?
Why was she taken to the lobby?
I think she was taken to the lobby because they wanted to get her out of the room so they wouldn't know who had rented that room. Let's get her out of the room so they won't know.
But when it was time for checkout.
Mm-hmm. But
they were giving time for the person to leave.
Exactly, that too.
That's what they were doing. It blew up and they were giving time for that person to leave so they could try to figure things out. That's what happened.
Yeah.
They leave out the back stairwell. They go out the front to the lobby.
They caught him anyway. He was 16 years old, just like Kalecia. He was charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, reckless conduct, and possession of a pistol by someone younger than 18. They're also saying that there was an attempted sexual assault, and that maybe the motive for this was that he made sexual advances towards her and she rebuffed him, and that's the reason why he shot her in the groin. They say groin, and other stories say that she was shot in the vagina, which would be a reason why there wasn't an overwhelming presence of blood, because if he shot her inside of her body with the gun inside of her body, then it just kind of went through it, which is gruesome as like, what 16-year-old?
That's brutal.
So to me, it leads me to believe that he went there with the intention of harming her. Because why would you go with a gun? Why would you rent the room and go with a gun?
And was it the boy from the night before that she did the TikTok with? Because now his face is all blurred out. So, and I actually remember when this happened and it being a big thing on TikTok, and I still don't remember seeing his face. But was it that boy that she did the TikTok with prior to the night before in the same hotel?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, because I didn't see anything where it said it was that guy, so I didn't know.
Because it was Christmas night.
And the video, like, what could happen that you would shoot somebody and then shoot them in their vagina? Like, that seems like they purposely did that. Like, did she mess with one of his friends, or did she think she was messing with somebody that knew? Were they going together and she just didn't tell her parents?
Right. Was this a setup? Like, invite her to the party, like a Carrie. So if you guys ever seen Stephen King's Carrie, like, she's supposed to be going to the Airbnb, right? She's a good kid. Her mom said she wasn't out there on the streets, whatever. She's a good kid. Let's invite her to the Airbnb. We're supposed to be chaperone, and then we switch it. Oh no, we're going to go to the hotel or whatever, and thinking that everything is everything. And things change. Like, what happened? Because at 12:02, somebody walks in there and the video cuts out. And then by 12:23,
you can see her startled, definitely startled. Like, she was shocked.
I mean, she physically could see her like
she turned because she's twerking in the video, and she turned and the video cuts off. So kind of like, what do you and the crazy part is that out of all the articles we've read, both like ones that are published by the New York Post, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, they're all talking about what happened in the hotel, and they're very limited on the details. And then they talk about her funeral. There's no talk about the trial. There's no further talk about what's going on in the investigation, how far along in the investigation. And again, this was a year and a half ago. And there's nothing. And this is mirrored to me like the Kenneka Jenkins case, because if you recall, 2017, she goes to a party at the hotel at the, where was this? The O'Hare.
I don't remember.
I forget the name of the hotel. The Crown Plaza near O'Hare in Chicago. And she goes to the party, and they're on Snapchat and they're on different social media platforms. And they say that, she was okay when she got there, and then her attitude changed, and then she wanted to sit in the corner. And then her three friends, that she was like, she wants to leave. She forgets her keys. She goes back up. But apparently when they go up, because she'd been gone like 10, 15 minutes, and she never came down. They go up, they find her stuff, but they still leave in her car. Like, I can't find my friend, but her stuff is still here. So where the hell is she? They leave in her car, go to her mom's house, get her mom, and then bring her mom back to the hotel, say we can't find her. The hotel says, we can't show you the footage until she's listed as a missing person, which had they shown the footage, they would have found that girl before she died. She died of hypothermia in the hotel freezer. She's walking, when they show the footage, she's walking through the hotel. She's stumbling through the hotel into an unused kitchen of the hotel. How the hell she found it, I don't know. And into a freezer. Now, I don't know if y'all have worked in food service.
Mm-hmm.
But if you worked in food service, those industrial freezers are like vapor locked. Those damn things are hard to open if you are at full strength.
Yes.
So how is someone who is clearly under the influence of something able to open one of those freezers?
Huh?
I don't understand.
Make it make sense. Huh?
And then her clothes weren't completely on her body when they found her in the freezer. So if she was cold, why would she take her clothes off?
You have to say, because the detective said there's a reason for that, because she started taking her clothes off because she got hot because she was so cold. That's pretty much what they said. She took her clothes off because with hypothermia, you get so cold that you want to take your clothes off because it kind of makes you like hot. So you need to take your clothes off in order to get warmer. It was the most bizarre thing I had ever read in my life.
I never heard of that.
No.
They said it's because of the hypothermia. That's why she took it. I was like, what?
She got hypothermia because she was asleep. Because she fell asleep. When you fall asleep, your body temperature plummets. Your body temperature goes lower. And because she was obviously under the influence of something, she could not have been awake the entire time that she was in there. And why would she take off half of her clothes? I don't understand.
It makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read exactly what they said. But that's what the experts.
And then the mom, while you're looking that up, the mom said the explanation that the friends gave her just didn't jive with her. So she knew that the friends knew way more than what they were saying to her. There were multiple young people at this hotel party. Almost none of them were questioned.
Found it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, experts say that the picture... Oh, okay, let me read that. The picture shows Jenkins missing a shoe and her clothing dirty and disheveled, leading to thinking that she was raped. But experts say the pictures are consistent with the victim of hypothermia. In the stages of freezing to death, the process of heat in your blood sends a rush of warmth to your body to make you take off your clothes.
No. Because even when you have a fever,
it's known as paradoxical undressing.
No. That's about as believable as me committing suicide with a gun with my hands cuffed behind my back.
Warmth of the blood. The blood warms up. So you
does it heat up? Does it heat up past normal body temperature to make me that hot, as if I have a fever, to take my clothes off? Because even when I have a fever, I don't want to take my clothes off.
No, I don't. I want to put on more clothes.
You want to put on more clothes? And she was clearly under the influence. So how the fuck did she open the freezer? How the hell did she stumble down the hallways, banging against the doors, going back and forth, and nobody saw her?
And the crazy thing, we have way more for her than we got for Pinky. Way more information.
Poor Pinky. Poor baby.
Right. Everyone talks about Kenneka Jenkins because it's just ridiculous that because in December 2021, they officially ruled her death as an accident. And I'm still puzzled by how y'all did that.
Yeah, how that happened?
I don't understand. No one was questioned. No one in that room was questioned. I think that she was drugged.
Yes.
Because her friends, and we've seen this in movies where your friends who might not really be your friends think it's funny and they're going to do a little setup. And there were boys there that were being very aggressive. Their friends did say that they were being very aggressive, and Kenneka wanted to leave. So I think that she was drugged and her friends left her in there. I don't think that she left and said, you know, I want to leave, and she left her keys. I think that they left her in there and they took her stuff. They took her keys and her purse, and they took her stuff, and we'll let whatever happens, but we'll go ahead and go get her mom so that it won't go on for a long time.
And if she had been sexually assaulted, would the evidence be gone because she froze?
No, only if a body is like burned or whatever. Freezing typically will preserve the body, unless there's like, you know, severe frostbite on the extremities or whatever. But, you know, something like sexual assault, that would have been perfectly preserved. Heat destroys, but in the cold, it would have been perfectly preserved, because that's what they were like, was she sexually assaulted? And they weren't sure. They were saying that they weren't sure. And when we talked about this, when we first did this case, probably around a year ago, we talked about how these could have been some very affluent kids. And there were some affluent kids there that maybe this is speculation, but maybe their parents didn't want this to get out, because again, none of those kids besides her three friends were questioned.
None
of those kids were questioned.
Room full of kids.
Who rented the room for underage kids? That was never revealed. Just like in the Pinky Williams case. Whoever is renting the rooms for these underage kids, if something happens, you should be liable the same way that I am liable if I have kids at my house and one of them gets drunk. And
which is why
where were they at the time? Where were the adults?
Well, Pinky's mom is that's one of her arguments is, where, if I put my trust that you say you were going to be chaperoning, where were you? Like, what happened? Who did this? How did this happen? Like, what is it?
And you're
they can't tell it. Like, nobody knows.
Pinky looked like she was in a room by herself. It really didn't. I mean, we don't know who was, but it looked like she was in a room by herself to me.
Yeah, she was.
Where was everybody else at?
Right. And on top of that, like the three people who helped her downstairs, what rooms were they in? How were they connected to the murderer? Like, where's all this going? But again, there's no real notes on the investigation on how this happened. Let's see here. Let me see if I have any more information. No, that's it. She was recording up until 12:02, and she was reported dead by 12:23 in 21 minutes.
And so we don't know if there was an investigation. We don't know if anybody was punished. If he,
well, he was arrested, but since he was underage at the time, they haven't revealed his name. But I'm quite sure he's 18 by now, or rolling up on 18.
He tried in the juvenile courts, and so it was just quiet. Was his parents rich enough to get him a lawyer to make it go away?
Right.
Who rented the room? Why weren't they where they said they were going to be? Says it was going to be a chaperone event.
Right. And my thing is, it's crazy because I didn't know Georgia had this type of law that if you're 16, they won't reveal it, because Georgia kind of will hang you out to dry, especially a young Black man. I'm assuming that he's Black. would be able to try him as an adult for the crime. But like Brady, you said, it could be that his parents, Atlanta is the land of new money, new Black money, especially. So were they affluent? Did they have money? Are they, keeping this close because they don't want this revealed? But it's a shame that a year later, almost a year and a half later, every single article you look up on this talks about the night, what her mom says, and then her funeral. There's no other information about the outcome of the investigation from her murder. Like you said, Brady, we know more about Kenneka Jenkins than we knew about Pinky.
And we don't know nothing about her.
No, nothing.
Well, we know she ended up in prison.
Yeah. So it's just funny how these two cases mirror each other so much. And I'm quite sure these are not the only two cases that happened like this. I watched this on something on Investigation Discovery, where this girl white girl went to a school in Indiana. She was at her boyfriend's house. She was drinking. She was at her boyfriend's house, and his roommates let her walk home by herself. And then she went to go meet some other guy who she knew. And she was supposed to be leaving there, but she vanished. I have to find it for you guys because it's a very, very famous case. It happened maybe 2010, 2011 in Indiana. And it was a show on ID Discovery. But she was partying or whatever. But then she went to her boyfriend's house. She didn't have her shoes on, and then let her leave like that. Like the boyfriend's roommates let her leave completely sauced. And then she went to another guy's house whom she knew in her apartment building or something. And apparently he let her leave. But the boyfriend lawyered up immediately. And so did the last guy who saw her. Lawyered up immediately. They found no traces of her. She completely disappeared. In a hallway. They see her in the hallway on camera. They see her on CCTV leaving the bars, walking through the streets. But once she gets to her last destination, she's vanished.
Dang, that's sad.
And it could have been somebody who drove by and saw that she was in distress and took it upon themselves to do whatever. Found her,
But why would the boyfriend lawyer up?
Because if that was my son, I would try to get him to lawyer up right away too. Especially, either whether he did it or not, but especially if he didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know if he did it or not. Let me see. Vanished. I'm looking for this right now.
But yeah, I definitely would have got him a lawyer real quick and in a hurry.
Because now you are the prime suspect.
Her name is Lauren Spirer, and this happened in 2011. She went to the Indiana University. So look for Lauren Spirer, and it was on something on ID Discovery, I believe I saw it. But you can, if you look up on YouTube,
anybody involved lawyered up. That's your right.
No, but they lawyered up and didn't talk. They lawyered up and didn't talk.
Lawyer tells you don't talk.
The boyfriend's parents went to that school and picked his ass up immediately. Immediately.
Girl, I would have done the same thing with my son. But the bad thing is, I probably wouldn't be able to afford a lawyer right real quick like that. But if I could, he's getting one immediately. I already know he's going to be looked at as the suspect just because that they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Because usually, even in married couples, is the person usually is
they're intimate. Yeah,
it's a domestic situation. So yeah, I'm my son a lawyer, and he better not open his mouth unless his lawyer tells him to.
Right. But I think the reason why I brought her up is because, again, that's another similarity to these two cases. So this happens a lot. This happens a lot. And I think that we're probably knowing about it now more is because of social media. And so the kids are recording, they record everything. They record everything. Every moment of their lives is on social media. So now the videos, those kind of videos can't be taken, most of the time they can't be taken back. So millions of people see them before we even know it's a tragedy. They see it. Kenneka Jenkins was on Snapchat. Pinky Williams was on TikTok. I'm quite sure if these things had existed besides Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, had existed when Lauren Spire was first missing, she would have been on them as well. So these things happen all the time in all communities. But I think we focus on the Black girls, and, we haven't done any stories on Indigenous women, which we probably should. They happen in marginalized communities and we don't know about them because, let's just be honest, white girls get the attention. We talked about Gabby Petito. We're still talking about Gabby Petito, and we know Brian did it. Why are we still talking about Gabby Petito? We know Brian did it. We know how he did it. But every other week, they're going to bring up something about Brian Landry and Gabby Petito. Not that they shouldn't, because those are somebody's kids, but at the same time, do we hear about Pinky Williams? Do we hear about Kenneka Jenkins anymore? We don't hear about these missing girls anymore. So that's why we wanted to talk about Pinky, because we have not heard anything. A couple of months ago, I sent Jackie something from TikTok. Somebody had, talked about some new information about Kenneka Jenkins that have come up. So every now and again, those of us who are nosy enough, we will find some stuff. And as we do find it, we'll bring this shit back up. Every time something new comes up, we revisit the story and we will bring it back up if it's similar to anything else that we're talking about. All right. So that's an
obsession. I'm obsessed.
Jackie is truly obsessed with Kenneka Jenkins.
It
does make sense.
It's not right.
And you have a daughter that around that age.
Yeah. Actually, this was Kenneka Jenkins' story was one of the first ones that we did. Probably within the first five or six that we did.
And bringing it may be because I just automatically see my child. So maybe that's why I'm so like, someone has to figure something out. Somebody got to do something. Because I have a baby girl the same age. And, she should be able to go have fun with her friends. I mean, of course, she needs to do better friend choosing because Kenneka did. But in her mind, she had good friends. She was just going to have fun. So, just sad.
Yeah. Kenneka's mom is still fighting her fight. From what I read about Pinky's mom, she's still fighting her fight. So
yes,
if y'all could throw up some prayers for them, because they're going to need it, because the system is not made for girls who find themselves in a situation. It is not sympathetic to girls, any girl who find themselves in the situation, because it is the worst, especially girls of color. They will think the worst. It is the worst victim shaming on the planet. Why was she there? What was she doing? What was she wearing? Why did she do that? Okay, none of that made anybody do anything to her. None of it, ever. We never put the blame on those who it should be on. Like, it's always, well, she might have made him do it. It's impossible to make anybody do anything. But yeah, so they're fighting those fights. But as we find information about Pinky and or Kenneka, we'll talk about it as it comes, because we're still very interested in the outcomes. We will also be looking for stories on Indigenous women, Hispanic women. So if you have those cases, if you know of some of those, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, put it in the comments of this video on YouTube, Trust me, we will use it. And hope you like this video. You can always like and share, subscribe, all of that, so you'll know when we post anything. But in the meantime, again, Facebook, Instagram, and putting your comments in YouTube, those are highly appreciated. Any last words? Any benedictions? No singing, just benediction. Anything? As I drink my communion wine.
I feel attacked.
Don't twist your face up at
you felt attacked.
What? Oh, no singing, just a benediction. I'm just saying.
Technically, when you give the benediction, there's a singer.
Let's go ahead and end the show.
Yeah, because you got to take the folks out.
There's a collection. There really is. There is. There's a benediction. There is someone singing.
I'm asking for the benediction without the song.
And then the ushers come down the aisle. They start at the back, and they put their little hand up for them to go out on that side, and put their hand up to go that side. And there's always an usher that leads the pastor and the guest speaker out to the vestibule.
I know the order of the ushers because Miss Alice used to be the usher. And Miss Alice was the head usher at my church, but she was also the lunch lady, and she drove a bus. So I was very intimate, and she worked at a liquor store. Miss Alice did all of that. So I was very intimate in what Miss Alice was doing.
I was head of security.
She might have been. I know she was mean as hell. She might have been. She was mean as hell. Miss Alice was mean as hell. We'd be chewing gum and shit. That's all she would do. Mm-hmm. That her wrist was sharp. She flicked that thing.
Oh, my mom does that.
Do she? Your mom got the wrist?
Yes.
Your mom got the wrist?
Maybe she'll come over with that little piece of paper and will. And she'll care. She'll care. Like, she'll go in front of everybody and walk
Why
straight
do
over.
they gotta make the face, though?
Then you think Sister Tyler finna come over and give you a hug because she missed you in the middle of service? No. Sister Tyler's come over to get that gum you chewing with a piece of paper like this.
Do they have to make the face? Do they practice the face in the mirror?
What if I got something wrong and my mouth stay dry and I need something to moisten it up?
I'm gonna tell you what she's doing. This is the motion.
And ball it up in her hand?
This is the motion. The same piece of paper that she didn't put, that paper towel that she got for the gum, she already put a couple of mints in this other one with that paper towel. She ball it up. It's just like this.
What's the difference?
Because you ain't smacking.
If you clacking that gum, yeah, but everybody.
Nah, because you know.
Why don't know we open up gum? We open up gum in front of.
You know, church folk pop gum.
I don't be clacking my gum during church.
Man,
if she catch you doing this number, it's a wrap. You just you have to know how to do it. You gotta get you a few.
See, the problem is folks are giving people a full stick of gum. Don't nobody need all that gum.
You know how to do it. You just
do what it needs to be done. You can't blow no bubble if you don't have a stick.
But I can still pop gum on a half stick though.
Oh, but they want to got our pastor. She doesn't care if she catch you gum. Come get you. Listen,
do ushers practice that look though in the mirror? Is that a part of like the initiation to the usher board?
You after years of ushering, you just naturally develop.
Naturally have the look.
Your face just.
Yeah, and your hands get real sharp. Yeah, you get your reflex.
Because this right here ain't gonna work. You just can't do this. You gotta point them and you gotta cup them like this here.
That's it. That's the motion. That's my
mom's gum motion. Just sit right here. I know.
And please keep in mind, Sister Tyler. That's my mom's name, Sister Tyler. And please keep in mind, she can barely walk. She has arthritis in her knees, but I promise you,
ain't nothing wrong with that wrist. Though.
She coming to get that gum. That's happening.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sister Tyler got the wrist. She said, Lord, I might take it. Lord, it might take me a minute.
Does your mom have her hand behind her back while she gets it?
She called you.
Yep.
Then they just be like, she be like,
She'd be like, Lord, it might take me a minute to get up this aisle, but don't you take this risk from me. I need this.
It's a bad thing when you see my mama coming. That's what it's
listen.
It'll be you okay any other time. When you see my mama coming,
Jackie, I might go to y'all church. I might go to y'all church with a stick of double mint.
This what she gonna do because I sit by her. I sit by her.
She gonna pass it down the aisle. She gonna pass it down the aisle. She gonna have that tissue like this here.
Tell your friend, why don't you gum here?
She just gonna pass the tissue right down the aisle.
Give her some of them mints. Give her them little white ones, some little lifesavers. Give her some of them.
They claim they don't want gum on the carpet and underneath, but I've never done it.
Yeah, I still
always keep my wrapper.
I told you we do like this
in my purse.
Yeah, that's why I'm not good. I'm not good with a piece of gum in church because I'm gonna tear that gum up. It's gonna sound. I'm gonna be louder than the man with the tambourine. I'm just gonna be matching him beat for beat with my gum. So
yeah, I don't know why they say that. They say that gum gets in the seats, and I'm like, who does? Where? I've never seen gum on the floor of the seats.
First of all, them ain't even new seats.
Where did this happen at? I ain't never seen a piece of gum in the seat or the floor on the wall. I ain't never seen it. Where is it come? Who told y'all this? Because I was just passing it down. I ain't never seen no piece of gum.
That's just crazy rules because them ain't even new pews.
No.
I'm gone for another church.
And then the same pews that been there since we was giving little Easter speeches with our little Easter lilies back in the day.
Your mama gave her Easter speech.
And you know they sell them to other. They just literally constantly sell them to other churches. It's like consistently bouncing around multiple churches.
That was them other people gum. That's from the Episcopalian church.
Them ones where you just come with whatever you got on.
What church you can come wherever you got on?
That's from the old Lutheran churches or something.
That old Hillsong.
Them old Hillsong churches. You ain't came to no gospel church like that. No, we don't do that.
We don't do that. Nobody can.
All right,
visitor. But if you're a regular member,
no, we don't do that. That ain't what we do here. Well, Sister Tyler done gave us the rules. You know what? I'm telling you, I might just go to the church so I can see your mama in action with the wrist.
I missed it. Ready to go. Yeah,
I missed the wrist.
You have a cockney go. Ready to go. I'm like, please. You do not have to look like they'll fix that. It be all over. Fix it.
She don't like that. She don't need a wig straight to serve the Lord.
She a mess. Yeah, go and come. She gonna greet you with nice joy and happiness, but I promise you better not chew it.
One stick or double mint, just one stick.
Just her getting up. That's the motion.
a cinnamon disc, a butterscotch, and strawberry candies.
That's where she going.
She got to carry out her duties, Jackie. Don't keep that one carrying out her godly duties
until the Lord sat her down.
Me too. Where you going?
That's one thing that I do miss about church is the elder women in the church. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than the elder women in the church because they just have this thing. I think that comes with the first time they get an AARP magazine or something. That's when it comes upon them because they're fine until then. They're not even elders until then.
No, it's Danny Green.
They get Danny Green's and AAP magazine, and they get the directions to where to get them strawberry candies from. Because you don't get to have the directions to the store.
I think she get them at Dollar Tree.
But you don't know that. You think that.
I don't know where she get them at.
That's in your elder packet. That's in your elder packet.
Along with some cinnamon toothpicks.
Mm-hmm. And the cinnamon toothpicks. That's in your elder packet. You don't get that until you hit 56. Not even 55. You got to be 56. You get 56.
56.
Mm-hmm. That's when they start sending them out you know, they notify you, oh, we see you're 55, and that's where you get that AARP magazine subscription thing.
Well, they
and
got
by
us
the
to
time
do.
you're 56,
My mama got Usher dues, and she got things she has to do. Like her little Usher crew, they're beasts.
Yeah,
they're beasts.
What happens is the first AARP magazine that you get when you turn 56, in the spine of the magazine, like if you open it all the way, normally they put like perfume and stuff in there. There's something in the middle of that magazine, and that's where all the instructions on how to get the strawberry candy and all of this is in that magazine. You don't get until you're 56.
And toe shoes, how to get your toes to cross over like this.
Mm-hmm. And how to get the stockings with the line that goes across the toe, like right in the front of the toe. And Danny Greens, you get your discount code for 35% off a pair of Danny Greens. True story. Your mama got some Danny Greens, don't she?
She probably got some of there. She normally wear like these little orthopedic, like white shoes or something, or either some slides.
That's what we're talking about. Then she got the peep toe.
Yes, a peep toe. It's like a.
Has she graduated? She graduated?
It's like this and this.
She's still waiting for it to come in. Backed up at the.
They know she has really small feet, so hers are actually fine because she got some really skinny feet. So it's fine.
On back order because of COVID.
Little bit.
Still at the warehouse.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to get Sister Tyler some Danny Greens for Christmas. Mm-hmm.
A whole lot of shit, even though she got a pair.
Mm-hmm. We got to get her some Danny Greens because they ain't nothing like that Danny Green slide after church. When you take your shoes off, you put them Danny Greens on. That Danny Green glide. Mm-hmm.
They glide.
Yeah, you can only glide like that when you got Danny Greens. You don't even know. You know, that's how you walk because they always got that. They always got that big old badonk behind them, so they gotta. I'm not gonna talk about you too tough, Mrs. Tyler. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But we gonna. I'm gonna. It ain't gonna
take a picture. I'm gonna take a picture on Sunday and let y'all see her. Little LMA. That's her name. Her name is LMA Top.
She makes good potato salad, don't she?
Red oak chicken.
She got the name in her booklet too.
Huh?
She got her name from in the booklet too. Because that's definitely one of the names in the booklet.
She make good potato salad, huh?
Yes. Yeah, my husband's laughing. Yeah, she does make bomb potato salad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does she make the green beans? Does she jazz up the green beans for the funeral?
Yes.
I'm gonna post a picture of the funeral food because we talked about funeral food.
She gonna put onions in there, onion powder, garlic, salt, all that, and redo it. She'll tell you, you bring some canned green beans, I'll fix it up. That's what she say. Just bring me on, fix it up. You bring the canned green beans. I'm gonna fix them up. I'll be like,
okay.
I'm gonna get a picture of it so I can see what
I'm gonna post the picture of the funeral food, baby shower food, and after church food. It's all in one picture, just depending on.
Did Brandon post the church after?
Yeah, the church food.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get that picture and I'm gonna post it on our Black Coffee and Crime page so you can see what the church food looks like. All right, y'all, we out. So we'll go ahead and end the show, and we'll see y'all next week. We don't even know what we're gonna talk about. But we're gonna see you next week. If somebody drop,
talking about
Denise Williams
and Mike.
That's gonna be good. I was reading some of that. Yeah.
Denise Williams, not the singer, but the lady from Florida.
What?
Who because when Brady said that, I was like, Denise Williams done kill somebody? It take a miracle to Oh, Lord. But it's another Denise Williams. So we'll come to you with that case because this woman right here was something else. We'll talk about that next week. But in the meantime, y'all have that cup of coffee. Enjoy yourself and good night. See y'all next time.